Doug Hathaway is president of RT Specialty Transportation Small Fleet, or Small Risk. Small Fleet, I guess is right. You're many things. You're obviously an enthusiast and an expert. I don't think, I know a lot of people well at MCIEF. I don't know whether this is a compliment or not, Doug. Your avocation and your vocation are somewhat the same. You have a passion for what we do, and we're very appreciative of y'all's sponsorship.
Thank you. Glad to be a part of MCIEF since we started.
Since we started, why don't you start there? What was MCIEF like when we started?
A bunch of not as old guys as we are today sitting in a room, and I think a gal, and we brainstormed about how to bring confluence into education. So, our friend Tommy Ruke had spent decades separately teaching retail agents and wholesalers and carriers, and it was separate. And in our world of distribution, we all distribute to each other. So the idea was to start an organization where we can intermingle. Retailers can intermingle with wholesalers. Wholesalers can intermingle with companies. And that was as I remember, the simple goal of and how do we bring value, and also how do we bring, a forum where people can meet each other.
Well, I must have been absent from the room that day because it sounds very heady and spot on. So 10 years later, how would you judge as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the MCIEF organization, the foundation? How would you judge your success?
I always put things on a scale. So a scale of 5, it's a 5 out of 5 as far as mission. Doesn't mean that there's not a lot more we can accomplish. And we've been, back a decade ago, we never envisioned a virtual world that we live in, and we never envisioned challenges that the motor carriers are going through right now, and have gone through. So the beautiful thing about the industry is everything changes. The beautiful thing about education is education's changing. So those are the challenges, but I think we're getting smarter all the time with every conference we put on, with every webinar, with every class, and that's just what's exciting to me.
We can improve, but I agree with you. We have come a fair distance. Doug, I think most people watching know that you are a member of our board of directors, and also you chair the committee that oversees our two conferences, our annual conference and our Western Conference, which, if you had to say, is that the meat of our schedule, it would certainly be a skinnier animal without those meetings, that's for sure. So we're looking forward to this October, the 3rd through the 6th. What do you think about the evolution of these in-person conferences, and how do you see them in the future?
I think we're growing up. So I look at the future as, we want to remain convenient for people to come to, but we also, I think we've announced upgrading the venue, just doing more around making the experience better. Early days, we got in there. We probably even had 3-ring binders back in our first few classes, and we just plowed through the material. A lot of material, always from basics to advanced to what's happened in the industry. But I think we've just gotten more experienced, and the feedback that we always get regarding the conferences is people value the education and they value the networking. So it ebbs and flows, but it's pretty equal between, and it might vary by person, but overall it's pretty equal that we think the networking is as important, because it's the discussions you have away from class with people that helps you learn and help me learn. The classes supplement everybody that you meet and who tell you things. But we kind of feel like the experience is evolving, and I'm excited about the upcoming annual. I'm excited about, just even the evolution of the classes with some claims things in there, and just that we've listened. We always ask about what sessions haven't we done that you'd like us to do. And so we're always trying to keep it fresh, but we're always trying to keep, we have some, annual speakers that come in and are great industry experts. I think of Dan Murray, Rod Mosley. Those guys have been with us almost from the start. And, there's always things that are happening that they're very well attuned to and they can explain to us. But I like the networking, I like the education, and I really focus hard on keeping it fresh and improving the experience each time.
Yeah, we have to evolve. I kind of think what we have is, maybe generically speaking, lightning in a bottle. What we have is, I say, the movers and the shakers, the decision makers, the up and coming talent within our sphere of the world. gathered in one spot. So we best make the most of that opportunity if we wish it to continue to be a success. Don't you agree?
I agree. And one of the things that denotes that how we've grown up is, we're looking at sponsors. We have sponsors now, and that's an exciting opportunity for income for MCIEF, but also allowing us to do more things, to fund more things, to make the experience more economical. And I think those sponsorships have just now started to take off, and we didn't have them, pre-COVID. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, you're excited about it. How about us? I mean, because your generosity, what it allows us to do is exactly what you say. And so let me stop right now and thank your firm for being such a generous supporter of MCIF. And, you're doing it in every way possible. You're providing education as an instructor. You're providing your talent as a director. You're providing your advice as a committee chair. And it's not just you. You've got all sorts of attendees that will be at this meeting in October. And you're going to be meeting with tons of different people while you're here. You've written us a very fine check, which allows us to improve our event, number one. It make it nicer, number one. And then also to the point of why is this the best insurance meeting out there that you can attend? Well, one reason is great value. It is a great value. So for us to be able to keep the cost reasonable as a nonprofit foundation is what you're helping us do. So we don't take your support in a flippant manner. We take it in a very honored fashion, and we really appreciate that from Ryan Specialty and from our other sponsors, but from you specifically today, very much.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I do think, you made the point about there's other choices for education out there, and I really look at that, and that's good. That's healthy. I mean, I want everybody to be educated. That going back to why we started, one of the reasons was that there wasn't a great way to educate people. I mean, in my career, that's always the hardest thing when you bring somebody in fresh and you need to educate them. I mean, who has the time to do it? Who has the discipline, the experience? And so we have professional teachers that do the hard work and educate people as to how, motor carrier insurance works. That's exciting. I think, we span the gamut from the very entry level to to what's looking forward 10 years in the industry level. And, other organizations maybe focus on entry level. They don't look out, but I think you get it all from MCIEF as far as, just being able to raise yourself in education and then even understand what the issues are and how they'll play out and what that means to help you write business.
Well, see, what this crowd doesn't know are some of the things that you know, because you know some things, some secrets, some plans, some auspicious plans for the future that we're not quite ready to announce. But the whole idea is to support exactly what you're saying, which is to move us forward. And I don't know, Tommy Ruke has made insurance education fun, which is a total oxymoron. I mean, how can it possibly be? But it is fun. And it's pertinent, it's meaningful, it's useful, and you can make money from it. It will help you in your job. This is not just education. This is an avenue to better capitalism, which is wonderful for all of us. So we can't let you get away. And speaking of you, and you talked about your career has been auspicious. And running a firm that you do now, you're one of the few people I know that has been on, as they say, both sides of the fence. Tell us what that's like as you look back and you look forward, because don't talk about getting old, by the way. You've got a long time to go in front of you, buddy.
Yeah, I don't really have any hobbies other than transportation insurance. So kind of a one-trick pony. I love it. Do it as long as I can be productive. But I have seen both sides. I've seen the company side and the wholesaler side. And it is very interesting. One day I could write a book probably, but fact is, being a good producer and being a good underwriter aren't as far apart as people make them out to be. You can have people who don't have a conscience and produce, and you can have underwriters who take every effort to not write a piece of business, and then you have everybody else in the middle. And that's what's exciting to me. So I teach a little bit of stuff that I've learned on the company side in the wholesale world. And when I was on the company side, I taught a little bit about what I learned in the wholesale world of the company people. So it's been fun. I do think, like I said, we're all in this to do the same thing. We want to write good deals that make money for our stakeholders.
Correct. But your experience gives you the ability to see an issue from more than one vantage point. And generically speaking, that's what we have to do when we're looking at risk, all of us. You're to your point, whether you are the agent calling on a truck line or you're the reinsurer supporting the risk taker and everybody in between. We have to be able to understand, because you got to be able to ask the right questions and answer the right questions. I suspect your pool of questions and answers is deeper than, how shall we say, the average bear, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand how company underwriters go about their business in a productive way, and then definitely understand how MGAs work with the retail agents in a productive way. So it's interesting. I mean, I can say that my first experience was on the company side, and I remember being frustrated that I couldn't exclude everything that was going to cause an accident, because it wouldn't sell, right? And then I got on the sales side, and then I complained, the other way. So it's really fascinating for people that are up and coming, and I'm just glad we have this ability to teach what we know.
So, Doug, when I see you in October, and I'm very much looking forward to, as we all are, getting together at the Hyatt Regency Orlando International Airport on October 3rd through 6th. On Wednesday morning, the 4th, we have, and you know a lot about this, a network and private meeting session where you, as a sponsor of this conference, will, among others, be set up to receive and meet with lots of different individuals. This is a change for us. It relates to what you said earlier. I know you've got some insight into what we need to do to make this worth everybody's while.
Yeah, there's the informal networking, and then there's more of a formal networking. And so I look at that reception as more formal, where who's going to be there. You can set up time with the people that are sponsoring and get to know them. Whether or not there's an opportunity between you both is a different thing. But I mean, just getting to know each other for future endeavors is really important. And that's really what, more of the formal networking is about.
That's right. Our first-time attendee at the Western Conference this past May came up to me and said that he had a meeting with an entity that he had been trying to meet with for 5 years, and that they met for 15 minutes and accomplished everything they needed to begin their business relationship, which he considered to be a real feather in his cap at that moment. And so I think that goes back to what we can accomplish and what we have to accomplish to set ourselves apart on I'll say the networking or the business opportunity side, and then the education. It just needs to be the best. You can define it however you want, but it just needs to be the very best. I think as long as you're around, Doug, it's going to be the best.
Well, we always have to be open to new ideas. I just look at the quality of the presentations and how they've evolved. Not that we had bad presentations, but I think they're pretty raw. And I think, we're looking now at, how we communicate, number of words on a slide, or, PowerPoint, I should say, and just things that, now we have time to do to make learning better. And that's what excites me.
Yeah, me too. Great subjects that we've yet to cover, a lot that we haven't covered. You'd think we'd covered it all by now, but we really haven't. And I tell you, we could go on all day, because I think you and I might be almost too much two peas in a pod. That we're geeks. We like this.
Yeah.
But Tommy Ruke, the rest of the MCIEF board of directors, all of the staff of MCIEF, our attendees who will benefit from your generous sponsorship, all thank you for what you have done personally and what your firm is doing for MCIEF. And we look forward to seeing you October in Orlando.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Have
Thanks,
a great
John.
day, Doug.
Okay. Take care.